Good evening, everybody. I'm back with another football interview as I had an opportunity to talk to two of our student athletes tonight, and I'm taking advantage of it. Two of really our best student athletes. You hopefully have watched the interview with Peyton Strittmatter. I'm here with another senior defensive back, this time Leo Orlikowski. Leo, thank you for joining me tonight on the Central YouTube channel.
Thanks, Nami. Glad to be here.
We're excited to hear from you. Leo, last year, for varsity football, you didn't have a lot of action. I think maybe you played special teams. You didn't have a real defined role. All of a sudden this year, you are out there in a very, very important position. You're kind of flung into a major role on this team as one of the starting defensive backs for the RiverHawks. How has that adjustment been for you?
Yeah, I mean, special teams is a lot different than defense. Yeah, I have a lot more important role. I'm still on those special teams because of my learning from last year, but also like including that defense is just a lot more stress, anxiety, got a lot more to know and what to do.
Oftentimes matched up against the best skill players from the other team. And I'll tell you
Yep.
what, you're doing a great job holding up. Been really one of the surprises of the team is the defensive back play for the RiverHawks. I think they've been outstanding, and you're certainly a big part of that. So congratulations on that. Got to talk about the elephant in the room. I know you probably don't want to, but we had the Onalaska game just a couple nights ago. I was telling Peyton that I came home Friday night and couldn't fall asleep thinking about that game. I was sick to my stomach. I'm sure you guys were too. I watched that 2-point conversion that Skemp caught. I watched it just about from every angle. Everybody had their cell phones out, watched it from just about every angle. And Leo, you did everything right on that play. You were in great coverage. The defense had everything set up perfectly to stop that 2-point conversion. Skemp went up. We know the rest of the story. Made a great play, made a one-handed catch. What were your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great game. Onalaska is a great team. Obviously, their quarterback is very impressive. His arm is amazing. I mean, that ball was perfectly placed. I don't think he could have placed it any better. And I mean, my defense was good there, but I think that ball placement was just much more better than my defense there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you got to give the kids credit. They made a great play. 99 out of 100 times that probably gets knocked away, but it didn't that time. And so we suffered the heartbreaking loss. The challenge now for this team is being able to bounce back. As a senior on the team, how do you help the younger kids bounce back from just a heartbreaking loss like that?
Yeah, I mean, we got to just like keep that chip on our shoulder. Like all the juniors, they all know that we have the potential to be one of the best teams in the conference and make it a long run in the playoffs. And I think that if we keep staying hungry and just keep doing what we know how to do and just keep getting better every single day, I think we could ever be.
Absolutely. And I think that's going to be the key is how do you bounce back from this tough loss? And Baraboo coming up on Friday, certainly going to present another challenge. Baraboo, one of the better teams in the conference. You know, I was talking to Peyton a little bit about this. There really are no easy games in the Mississippi Valley Conference when it comes to football. You got to bring it every single night if you expect to get out of there with a W.
Yep, definitely.
Let's stop talking about football for a little bit because you're also a track athlete and a pretty amazing track athlete at that. Had a great spring last spring. I remember reading about you on Twitter and reading about you in the newspaper. Leo, what events do you do for track?
I'm in high jump. I run the 100-meter dash and the 4x200-meter dash.
And you mentioned that 4x2. The 4x2 qualified for the state competition that's held at UWL. I remember reading about that. And Leo and his team finished in the top 15. Leo, is that correct? Or somewhere around there we were trying to figure out? Top 15, top 15 in the entire state of Wisconsin. So Leo really an all-around athlete. Not only shines on the football field, but also on the track. And I suppose you're getting ready, not right now because it's still the fall and you're in football, but I suppose you're excited about that track season coming up in the spring.
Yep, definitely.
Awesome. Is that something that you have to is track a sport that I know football is, I know basketball is track a sport that really is year-round training? I mean, are you preparing for that maybe once football ends because you're in football training right now, but is that something you do over the winter?
Yeah, I think track, just like all the sports that you do will build into track. I think like speed, like, you have to have speed in football, all that, like being able to jump in basketball, all that just like builds all into track. And I think it just, yeah.
Yeah. The skills that you use in track are the skills that you use in all the other sports for sure. let's look ahead a little bit. We have Baraboo coming up on Friday. I know you have had a couple days off of practice to let your bodies rest, and you're going to be getting back after it here tomorrow, probably watching some film and trying to figure out a game plan. What do you know about Baraboo, if anything, and what can we expect as viewers for this coming Friday night?
Yeah, last year, they were a great team. They beat us, so we are obviously going to remember that and keep that in our head for when we're practicing all through the week and for when we play them. We know they're a run heavy defense offense. Their running back is very talented, and I think just because I'm gonna have to fill in and start like getting in the run game.
Might have to bring some of our defensive backs in to help with the power rush game of Baraboo. Looking forward to that. So maybe we can see some big hits from Leo Orlikowski this coming Friday. I'll be looking for that. Get in there and pop somebody, Leo. Well, we have a busy week this week on the Central YouTube channel. Volleyball Tuesday night. Sparta's coming to town, so we'll be at Central. Joel and I will be covering that. We'll be live at 5:30 with the VR game, and then play-by-play at 7 o'clock for the varsity. Leo, you going to be at that game?
I might.
He might. Okay. And I was telling Peyton that Joel was kind of getting on our student section at the last volleyball game because everybody was pretty quiet, kind of sitting on their hands. He wants to hear some excitement in that Sutton gymnasium. So the challenge is on for you guys to get some excitement in that gym.
All right, we'll let Joel hear us.
All right, good. Then on the road, Thursday, we go with the volleyball team to Logan High School for a big intra-city matchup. That's Thursday night at Logan. We'll do the same thing, cover the VR game first at 5:30, and then be live with the play-by-play at 7 for that big matchup as the volleyball team looks to go 2-0 this week. And then on Friday night, Baraboo football. We're going to try to go. The press box is small again. Reedsburg has a similar situation. We weren't able to get to Reedsburg, but I really want to call that game, so we're going to do whatever we can. We might be sitting in the stands. Maybe I'll be sitting with your dad, and we'll do the play-by-play together or something like that. I said maybe we get Tad on there too. Boy, that would be a broadcast, huh? Your dad, Tad, and I probably break YouTube. We better not do that. So lots of things to look forward to here this week on the Central YouTube channel. I want to thank all of our sponsors for allowing us to have the platform to be able to bring you these games and these interviews, so we can get to meet these awesome Central student athletes. And Leo, I want to thank you for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me, Nami.
Yeah. All right. And once again, thank you to all our viewers for watching. I hope you enjoy the interviews that we're doing. We'll keep doing them. I might even have another football one coming up here in the next couple of days. I'll work on it. I like talking to these kids, and I like showing the community what kind of student athletes we have at Central High School. Thanks again for joining us tonight. Have a good night.